Well, hello. Yes. We are back with Baldur's Gate 3. It has been a long time. Not so long for me, but maybe some long time in between for content, that's for sure. I've been in between a lot of different projects. Some on my own, some are with the podcast, and of course I have work that I juggle. And there's actually some other stuff outside of work in my personal life I'm juggling too. Nothing like serious, just things that come up, kid stuff. But anyway, we're back doing Baldur's Gate 3, and there was a patch that just came out. And if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, which I always am, I don't look into what other people have seen. I don't look into reviews. I don't look into opinions about what works, what doesn't work. I don't look into guides, best builds. I just play the game. And one thing about Edition 5 is that it's an easy entry into not Baldur's Gate, well, Baldur's Gate, but also Dungeons and Dragons. 3.5 rules is pretty strict, and I really like those rules. I think Pathfinder rules are great. It's just way too much math going on. But once you know it, it really makes sense. There's so many variables that get offset by other variables and so on, but I think Dungeons and Dragons rule set 5 is a great entry into the game. And so I think in hindsight, when Larian said, oh, okay, we'll do it with rule set 5, maybe they were just doing it because it was the default rule set. But in hindsight, it was a great way to introduce the story to what they wanted to do. It really does lend itself into the maneuvering and all the other little features you can do in the game. So although it seems complex because of all the things, it could actually be a lot more complex. But I want to look into what's going on in this patch. I'm probably going to have to pull up a thing on Steam saying like patch notes. But I also just, because I don't remember all the subgroups that were part of the each class, the subclasses. So if it's new, I may not immediately recognize it. So we're gonna just head into it. I'm just gonna throw balanced on here because I'm really just want to get to the character creator, and I just want to see what's here. Okay, we don't need this. We've only seen that about 1,000,000 times.
Who are you?
Okay. Don't reset. I'm glad that it asks you every time you play. It's almost like the Larian said, yeah, we know you're going to be playing it 2, 3, 4 times. Let me get in my seat here. I got home from work not too long ago, and I wanted to update the game. I had not done that, and that took a while. That took like 20 minutes. So I did some laundry and some other things. Let's throw on our drow. Before we do anything, let's edit her. I'm probably going to go with my de facto because I want to just see how things look with the character that I know has a certain look,
Where to?
What was that?
Yeah, we'll do that. All right. And this is all things we know, of course. Hair. I just want to get the hair out of the way so I can see what's going on while we do stuff. That's always nice. This is kind of my go-to on some of my mains that I do. Bad. Let's go with that. Only thing I'm going to do for makeup is that. No, like that. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, let's get into what we have here. Classes. Oh, I need to break out my notes. You would think I'd be more prepared, but I am not. Okay. So. It talks about photo mode. Photo mode's a long time coming, that's for sure. I could have used this when I was making content. Okay. So let me put this on a notepad so that I don't have to keep coming back and forth. But how are you guys doing? Hopefully everything's going good on y'all's end. Okay, there we go. I had read these a long time ago when Larian released it, but I did not really look into what they meant, what they could have been. I had impressions based on what I know from Dungeons and Dragons, but you know, how they get implemented into a game like this, it's never easy to tell. So, let's see here. Barbarian, Acolyte, abilities. Okay. So with Barbarian, we're going to have the Path of the Giant Barbarian. And then the College of Glamour Bard. I wonder... Yeah. We look at one or two things real quick. So yeah, they didn't change most of these. Some classes give you a subclass as early as level 1, like the Cleric and the Paladin. I think even Sorcerer does too. I want to go through each one and see if anything shows up. So let's go to Cleric. So Death Domain. So this is the new one right here. Death Domain. Let's see what it says. Subclass features. Your necromancy cantrips that only target one creature can target an additional creature. Oh. Well, that's good. It's definitely, I mean, I haven't, I'm like 5 minutes into this patch, but it definitely seems balanced in that clerics are pretty overpowering to begin with. They're OP. Beginning right about level 3 until the end game, if you just run with nothing but clerics and, you know, maybe a thief just for lockpicking and stuff, you're just going to cruise. Let's see what else we got. We have the Druid. So in the Druid, we have Circle of Stars Druid, which I think Banana told me basically makes your animals kind of starry, which maybe there's more to it than that. I don't know. We'll see. So Lothsworn Shadow Sorcerer, maybe Banana. Sorry, I missed your message a minute ago. I'm on 2 chats at the moment. I'm on YouTube. So if you want to see a 2K version, I'm on there. New Cleric does look hardy, like a lot of fun. Haven't played it yet. Yeah, the Cleric, I like I said, I just got into this, so I don't know any of the details, and I haven't wanted to learn any of the details. But if that's all it does is that at the beginning, a cantrip just lets you target 2 creatures, that's pretty big early on for a cleric, because clerics become overpowered at level 3 or 4. Hey, Dave, how are you doing? It's Big Brain Dave. And then we have the arcane. Oh, okay. So here's the fighter. So if you want to be like Legolas, maybe they don't give you anything here. Fighting style, nothing. So this is probably like a level 2 or level 3. Maybe you know this, Banana. When's the earliest you can do all these subclasses? Is it level 2, or are some of them going to be at level 3? Because obviously the cleric's at level 1. Arcane Archer Fighter, which is really interesting because in old rules like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, if you wanted to be like a really great archer, like a great ranger, like a Legolas type character, you created a fighter. You didn't create a ranger. Rangers were horrible. This is why I criticize Minsk, because I love Minsk, but he's better off as a barbarian. He has all the attribute points for it, but he's a ranger. If he was a barbarian, I could use him, but I can't use him as a ranger because rangers are penalized for so many things. And so if you want a really great archer, you create a fighter who can do grand mastery in archery. So level 3 for most. Okay, so I'll probably just have to pull in a character that I have and then just play with withers, basically, which I don't like doing. Can't stand the man. Monk. Let's see what the monk is. All right. Monk. Way of the Drunken Master Monk. Okay, so we don't have anything yet. Okay. I don't think I've ever played Baldur's Gate 3 as a monk. I know a lot of people have, and a lot of people have told me that that's how they got their golden dice to begin with, was with monk. I think it's mostly at character creation or at level 3. Okay. Well, that makes sense, because like I said, even some subclasses, subclasses are, you can get at level 1. But like I said, like the cleric and I think the paladin. I'll do the paladin next. Yeah. I can already tell this is a new one. Oath of the Crown Paladin, right here. So righteous clarity. Target yourself or an ally to additionally grant the target's proficiency bonus to their attack rolls at 10 turns. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Oath of the Crown tenets. Paladins abide by the following tenets: law, uphold civilization and order, loyalty, your word is your bond. Without loyalty, oaths and laws are meaningless. Responsibility, deal with the consequences of your actions and fulfill the duties and obligations. It's like a standard paladin, really. But Oath of Vengeance is like what Minthara is, and I love that. I love Minthara as a paladin. Ooh, oh my goodness. And now we have a Swarm Keeper Ranger. I love Rangers in 5 rules, 5e rules. I love the Ranger. I've played a lot of my content on YouTube as a Ranger. It really affords me the ability to do a lot of things, and I can lockpick. I have a lot of acrobatics. I have athletics. I do a lot of DPS, and it's just so good. And in old rules like 3D, 3.5 and stuff, it's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. So it's like it's like they lifted a big burden off my shoulders of avoiding the Ranger all these years. So let's see, that's a Swarm Keeper Ranger. No, it's just favorite enemy, natural explorer. Yeah, nothing really. So Rogue, what do we got in Rogue? Swashbuckler Rogue. What? That's amazing. Swashbuckler Rogue. I gotta look into seeing that's gonna look, because okay, so in in the old Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, you could be a swashbuckler rogue, but it didn't really do a lot of good. I mean, it kind of came into its own at in-game level for Baldur's Gate 2. But you are handicapped for a lot of it. Like, I think your backstab damage is 0 if I remember the rules. I don't think you get any additional backstab damage, which is not great. You're more of like a fighter one-on-one. Yeah, I love swashbuckler and EE. Oh, okay. So maybe I'm misunderstanding that, Banana. I knew there was something in the 3.5 or something that in Baldur's Gate 2, the swashbuckler could they had more hit points or something, but I could be wrong. And I'm telling you, in the original Baldur's Gate, having extra hit points is huge. You can die pretty fast just playing the game on normal mode. But let's see the sorcerer. Sorcerer is shadow magic sorcerer. I love the shadow. I love the sorcerer. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so cool. I love shadow magic. I really love shadow magic. And the fact that it's in here now, I am very tempted to play as a sword now. I think that's right. I was a no backstab multiplier and reduced skill amounts, but you were better in a straight up fight. Yeah, if I remember right. Like, I'm not like the Baldur's Gate expert. I haven't played like 8,000 times or something. I don't do the challenge runs or anything. I just play because I loved it. And I don't remember all the little things that came with each thing. I never modded it. I do exploit the game because to make content, I have to, like, if I want a certain weather or something, I can type in a certain code to get the like rain or something just for the mood of the scene that I want. And that's all I do use it for. But I don't remember all the classes and all the things that you can do, but I think that's right. I think that's sounds correct. You're basically designed for dual wielding. Oh yeah, the dual wielding. And so as you leveled up, you managed to deal a lot of damage. Yeah. The swashbuckler was a lot of fun, but I do remember there were some penalties to it that weren't typical of a rogue. But anyway, shadow magic. You siphon your powers from the shadow fell itself, the light in your soul snuffed out by an unsettling darkness. That's cool. And see in the dark up to 24 meters. See, I mean, that's okay. But I mean, I'm already, if you already play as a drow, I mean, you know, come on. Strength of the grave. If you reach 0 hit points, you regain 1 instead of becoming downed. Ooh. That's nice. I gotta say, that's nice. There's been a lot of times where I just barely die. And that extra hit point comes in handy because when you have like 1 or 2 down, you can assist players or you can throw a health potion. But at the end of the day, you lose that action, you know? So coming back up 1 is almost, wow. That does sound great. Okay, Hexblade Warlock. Let's see what the Warlock looks like. I love the Archfey. Archfey as a warlock really is nice. I don't see it played very often, but having the Fey presence is pretty good. Now, I think you get Fey presence as a drow anyway. Hold on. Maybe I'm no, you get you get Fairy Fire as a drow. But look at this. You get Dancing Lights, which I'm a big fan of. Early on. Of course, Eldritch Blast is just amazing. Blade Ward is better than you think. And these are just the default cantrips. Fairy Fire works really well. Sleep is just S tier plus. It's like my favorite spell. And then you have the Fey Presence and Charm or Frighten nearby foes with the Feywild's beguiling, disturbing magics. And I can't remember what it is. There's like, I think if you it's just been a while. I thought as you leveled it up, you also become immune to charm. Anyway, so let's go to the Hexblade. You have made your pact with a mysterious entity from the Shadowfell. Ooh, Shadow. A force that manifests in sentient magic weapons carved from the stuff of shadow. Maybe I should have read that more dramatically. You have made your pact with a mysterious entity from the Shadowfell, a force that manifests in sentient magic weapons carved from the stuff of shadow. Maybe that's better. Shield and Wrathful Smite. Well, we already had those. Bind Hexed Weapon. Bind your main hand weapon. Its damage becomes magical. You cannot drop or throw it, and you become proficient with it if you weren't already. When you attack with this weapon, there is a chance that Hexblade's curse will be applied to your target. Okay. Hold on. That's what I was looking for. Ugh. Forgot it was T. Hexblade's Curse. Cursed by Hexblade's Warlock. The Warlock who cursed this entity adds their proficiency bonus to damage rolls against them. The number they need to roll a critical hit while attacking this entity is also reduced by 1. That's pretty big because you don't get that until like level 4 as an option. So having it from the very beginning is good, but you're still Warlock. Like this would be great for Will. If Will was the Hexblade, it would really be in line with him being the Blade of the Frontiers. Okay. And then also actions. Hexblade's Curse. Curse a target. Your damage rolls against the target against the bonus equal to your proficiency bonus. The number you need to roll a critical while attacking the target is also reduced by 1. See, here's another one. Hexblade's Curse. If the target dies, you regain 4 points. Oh my god. This is really big. I mean, if you don't play as a Warlock, I wouldn't say that this is like a OP build, but this could really help you if you want to play as like a Warlock character, gnome or something, and you know, you don't want to die every 5 minutes. This is a really great survival build. Hex Warrior. You gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. So yeah, it's like what Will should have been. You gain Bind Hex Weapon, which lets you use your Charisma modifier instead of Strength or Dexterity. Oh my goodness, when attacking weapons, you're proficient. See, you could be like an actual like melee build and have high Charisma, do high damage with your Eldritch Blast, and carry medium armor. Wow. Yeah, this is a survivability build right here. If you want to like play as like a character who's a sorcerer, but I mean not a sorcerer, a warlock, but not be squishy, this is it. I like this one. This is a good one. Now let's look at wizard. I don't think a lot of people play wizard. Like you can get Gale. Gale's your wizard. Gale's your guy. Let's see here. We have Blade Singing Wizard. I wonder if he's similar to the Warlock thing. But we don't have it here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to load game instead. Let's go to, where are we at? Oh, we're in the Gauntlet of Shard here. We could go to Elise. Yeah, she's not doing nothing. But you know what? I think she's actually, I think what I did with Elise is I think I put her here, but I'm much further along than it appears. I could be wrong. Yeah, because she's our bard, I believe. Yeah. She'd be a good one. Let's go here. Definitely seems like it could be fun. Yeah, I might try a Blade Singer in addition to Gale now. Well, what if you turn Gale into a Blade Singer? Would that work? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked at the details of what the subclasses are in the ones that weren't at level 1. So we'll see. Maybe I need to get Banana on the Discord call so he can tell me what he's already experimented with.
Can't give up now. Moving ahead.
All right, let's go out here. I make several characters and I have them at various places. I have one character that's, you know, already finished the whole thing, but I keep them at like mid-level areas because when the game first came out and until a couple patches ago, once you finished Act 1, you could not go back to Act 1. You were done. So I kept some characters in Act 1 because I wanted to just use them there rather than load a previous save. Because each character that I do like this has, you know, 50 saves apiece at least. So I'm sure you could, but it seems like it's a more frontline combat, and I like having a ranged spellcaster as well. Right. I mean, it's always good to be balanced, but Gale really is unbalanced. He's pretty much, yeah, a great mage. He's almost the reason why you don't ever need Will, you know? But let's see, what am I in here? I'm a Bard. So I'm a level 4 Bard. I should be able to have access to all subclasses. So let's return to camp. We'll check it out. I don't know. Would it be better to see everything at night or during the day? I have a feeling nighttime would look better. Yeah. All right. So Larian, you still haven't listened to me. I need to rename my bags. That should be a thing in game. I should be able to like rename this whatever. And I also want to take dies and apply them to dice in game. You do those two things, I'll always have your back, Larian. But I've been suggesting that since the early access. So, yeah. I haven't listened. That's how much influence I have.
Fate spins along as it should.
I don't trust you, Withers.
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
I haven't, I'll be honest with you guys. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of content about any games, not necessarily Baldur's Gate, but any games. The takes you get from me are uninfluenced. What you see is what you get. And anybody that wants to have like a different take, like, well, I think you were right about this, but you came from the wrong direction or something, and it's fine. Because I'm experiencing it unfiltered. You know, I really like to do it that way because then it allows me to not be so biased into going into patches, games, controversies, whatever it is. It's like, why can't I just experience the game for what it is? But there's so much that's out there, and so it's really got me taking it back sometimes and not wanting to create content sometimes. It's like I just want to create stuff that I found was interesting in the game, but sometimes, you know, it gets received as like not the way it was intended, you know? So I like to enjoy the things that are, you know, presented, and sometimes they don't hit. They just don't. But why would I make content about things I don't like, right? So I don't do that. So with these patches and stuff, it's really exciting for me because I already know I like the game. So if I don't like any of the subclasses that they added or any of the other features, it's fine. I still like the way it was before. It's not like they changed the game fundamentally, you know? So, let's see. Banana says, the Arcane Archer has made my broken rogue ranger fighter build more broken. I'm excited because, like I said, I've never played the ranger before Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, let me take that back. I, of course, did. And you can play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 in any class, and you will be just fine. Don't overthink that stuff. But if you're going in with the idea of, like, I want to be like that super elf character like Legolas and fly across the battlefield and do a ton of damage, Ranger's not your thing in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. You just do fighter, and then you can specialize in things. That's the way to do it. However, if you want to just go for the immersion and say, I want to be a ranger, and that's the way it's going to be, then great. But Minsk is a classic example of, he's a great character, and you can have fun with him, and he's beloved, you know? But I never use him because I can always gravitate toward other characters that have other abilities that make up for the things that he's not doing. Yeah, if he was a barbarian and I could just give him a two-handed sword, he'd be in my party all the time. But yeah. So let's do this. Let's change class. Well, wait a minute. We're already a bard. So College of Glamour. Hold on. Can I do that now? Maybe I haven't thought about this.
Best get going. I've got a long road ahead.
I don't even know what I am now. Oh, College of Valor. Okay. So let's do this. Let's start from the beginning.
Spin.
Dost thou require a new as thou desires?
Okay. Start with the barbarian. Confirm. Shows you how many times I do barbarian. I didn't even check if I had enough money. I should be good. Danger Sense and Reckless. I played Barbarian when it first came out on early access, just to show that you could do things that you couldn't prior to, like open up Shadow Heart's cage or whatever. I got that on my YouTube. Additional rage. Subclass. Here we go. Giant. You walk the path of giants, invoking their elemental might and size by drawing strength from the same primal forces as them. Vaprax Greed. Your carrying capacity is increased by a quarter. It's not bad. It's okay. Giant's Rage. Enter a rage that increases in size. Your rage damage bonus is doubled on throw attacks. Gain resistance to physical damage and advantage on strength checks and saving throws. That's for 10 turns. I don't know. Seems okay. And your cantrip is the Thaumaturgy, which is fine. It only works. This stuff is only good for like the main character, so. Yeah. Kind of like the Wild Heart. But Giant is neat. I wouldn't say that there's anything, interesting or new there. So let's get out of this. See how much money we have to make sure I can do this. I have 887 gold. I thought I had a lot more than that. which kind of goes to show I probably should have chosen a more in-game character. Where is my character? You notice like my portrait, she's like in the corner hiding. What is up with that?
Let's move. Is that blood? No.
Is
Never
that
mind.
is that a glitch? Is that supposed to symbolize that I have an upgrade? Or is it my
time to
portrait? No. It's weird. You can kind of see her right there
What
in my
now?
little portrait window. She's like way down there. Is that a
Go
glitch?
ahead.
I've never seen that. It's almost like I'm a gnome. All right, let me...
Fate spin.
Dost thou require a new ally? As thou desire.
Let's take a look here. Had that with Lae'zel today, no idea why. It's got to be a glitch, right? Confirm. And we need College of the Glamour Bard, so that's probably level 3 again. Huh. I'm wondering if, like, choosing Barbarian and maybe... You did not respect Lae'zel as Barbarian, did you? Because I'm wondering if that giant thing had something to do with it. Let's see here. Sleep. Slept. Oh, specialization available. Spells. S tier right here, Cloud of Daggers. College of Glamour. You mastered your craft under the tutelage of fey creatures, whose captivating magic swirls within you, ready to be released. Huh. Mantle of Inspiration. Imbue 2 allies with your vigor and grant them 5 temporary hit points. If they're hit with a melee attack, the attacker becomes... Oh. See, I was doing College of Valor because I love that combat inspiration. That's good because it's 2 allies. If it was just for 1, I'd be like, eh. And it's a bonus action, so it's not like it goes away. Like with rest or something, you have to like rest to get it back. I like it. I like it. Look at all these. I'm telling you, Bard is so great. I love playing as a Bard. Bard and clerics are just, oh, so well done.
Fate spins along.
Dost thou require a new ally? As thou desire.
Okay. What are we doing? Cleric. We already know about the cleric, right? Cleric was, we already have a death domain. Yeah. Which, like clerics, I love my clerics. I really would like to do that at some point, but that means Shadowheart would never be with me. No, I take that back. I would probably bring her just because, like I said, I love being OP and I love taking advantage of that. Here's the one I really want to look at. The Druid and the Ranger are on my radar. We'll see what they do. Let's do this. And Circle of Stars. Right here. It was interesting that it actually said in the description there's a new subclass available to you, and it called it Circle of the Land, but that we've already had that. But that may be a mistake. Circle of the Stars. You are guided by the infinite mysteries of the cosmos. It is through your understanding of the stars that your druidic magic gains its potency. Wild shape. As action, you can assume the form of a beast. You can transform twice per short rest. Star map. The map of the stars you can use as a resource to cast guiding bolt. Oh, that's good. That means it'll hit less. I mean, it'll hit more often. It'll miss less. Because it misses all the time. Yeah. Also, I don't know why, if this was always the case, but apparently you can only hire 3 hirelings. Well, I don't know that either, Banana, because I don't really ever use the hirelings. I mean, it's really just, if you know, they created the hirelings more or less as a safeguard, because what if you kill off all your companions? Like, they're all dead. Like, you choose, like, to choose the evilest of evil paths, and everybody's died. Well, and you got to get by a certain whatever. You can do a hireling. So my understanding is always the most you could get would be 3. But yeah. I like the new wild shape options, but I would prefer that you actually change into them. You just glow with, I guess, a constellation on you. Oh, that's neat. I'll test it out here in a second before I try out the next one. Because I love Druid. It's kind of my, so if you could like be in the, you know, Forgotten Realms, and you could pick whatever class instead of being, you know, born into it or whatever, I definitely think Druid would be my thing. I would love to play as a Druid and really have that background. Not necessarily be in love with the cities, be comfortable on the road. It's not really just a nature thing, but there is that. It's just, I find as an only child probably is where my thing is. I'm very comfortable being by myself. So, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. I never really used them anyway, but I loaded a late save and tried hiring them to experiment with classes. Yeah. So let's see here. We get Star Map Guiding Bolt and Guiding Bolt. So I thought it would automatically mean that your Guiding Bolt would have a Star Map attribute, because it misses way too much in my small opinion. It should hit a lot more often than it misses. Like, to me, it should be an 80% hit, but it's not. It's more like 20% hit. Let's accept that. And then I'm gonna do the next level, and then we're gonna experiment, see what that looks like. These are just spells, so I love that you get like pretty much whatever you want. I'm gonna get rid of Goodberry. I've never really ran with Goodberry. Goodberry in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is so useless. Absolutely useless. Now, that's not to say like, hey, look, if you love Goodberry, great. But I found it absolutely useless as a spell. And the more levels you go up, the more useless it becomes. It's not like it levels up to better Goodberries later on. It's always like level 1 or 2 hit points you get. And and you have like 106 hit points or something. It's not great. What's that? Heat. Ability improvement. I'm going to go with wisdom. And the only thing is that as a druid, you wouldn't have high charisma by nature. You would have to say, screw it, I'm going to be a high charismatic druid. You know, that's why most druids aren't, pleasant. But I think I would like to be a high charismatic druid, personally. We'll put one in Constitution, why not? Let's put them both into Wisdom. That's fine. How dare you? I mean, how dare you? Yeah, good berries. Good berries are kind of like the meme of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Okay, so let's do star map level 1. Level 2 cantrip. So wait a minute. Didn't you say, Banana, that you could summon a wild shape? Or are you just become a wild shape? Starry form. You expend a wild shape to take on starry form rather than transform into a beast. You can take on starry form archer, starry form chalice, or starry form dragon. Huh. So if we do this, oh, here, I should have just gone to the menu. Chalice. Let's read these. A constellation of an archer appears on you. As a bonus action while in this starry form, you can cast Luminous Arrow. Oh, Luminous Arrow is a damage dealing spell. Okay, I'm okay with that. All right. And then a starry form chalice. A constellation of a life-giving chalice appears on you. Whenever you cast a healing spell that consumes a spell slot, you can cast Chalice Healing. Oh. So that heals 5 to 12. That's great. I didn't know what that was. That's great. Because the thing about druids is that they can heal, but if you have a cleric, for instance, you don't really need them as your main healer. But it's nice to see that you can take on this form and do damage and heal if you need to. I really like that, because normally when you're in a wild form, you can't really do much outside of, you know, your wild form stuff. So that's good. You maintain your normal shape, but you just glow. That dragon breath is really nice though. Okay, let's take a look at that one. A constellation of a wise dragon appears on you. When you make a saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, a result of 9 or lower is considered a 10. Oh. Oh. Okay. Concentration spell. That's good. Oh, that's great, actually. Oops. As a bonus action, while in this starry form, you can cast Dazzling Breath. Oh, so that's a damage dealing spell. Ooh, so this is great. You're basically a better casting druid. That's good. I still think the chalice is low key the best of these. But let's take a look at the dragon. Nice little effect at the bottom. I like that. I like how it's like hovering above what you're going to be doing. Okay. That's neat. It's a passive effect, but I'm glad they did it. You know, they didn't really need to do anything. You know, they could say, yeah, you're going to be starry form and you kind of glitter, you kind of, you know, like a little whatever. I think this is a lot more than what I was expecting to see. And this is why I did this at night, because I kind of had a feeling with the starry stuff that it would look better at night. So that's neat. Yeah, we're supposed to be able to, here it is. Dazzling Breath. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Ooh. It's that starry breath. That was cool. That was neat. See if it lets me do it again. Available next turn. So it's a turn-based thing. It's not like a... It's not relegated to like, you know, a rest where you have to take a rest, a short rest or long rest. Okay. Dismiss wild shape. Okay. Damage to the spell is a bonus action. Yeah. I think that's great. Let's do this. I want to do the chalice. But you know what? No, I don't, because that's just a healing spell. Let's look at the other one, the Luminous Arrow. know for me, if I was playing it for me, this is what I would choose, the chalice, but I just want to see. Okay. If we were to I like it. Nice. Yeah, I like it. It's not like amazing, but I really do like that. It's really neat. Okay. So we can't do any more wild shape changes until we do a rest. So we're going to talk to Withers. We're at the druid.
Up for discussion.
Fate
We're going to do the
spins
fighter
along
next.
as it should.
This will be neat.
Dost thou require a new ally?
If I run out of money, I can just reload the
Or
save.
Mayhaps as thou desire.
So let's go to fighter. This is kind of what I said before. You know, in the old rules, if you were going to make a ranger that does a lot of DPS, you want to do fighter and then specialize as a bower. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. As the arcane archer, you are capable of weaving magic into your attacks, giving your archery a supernatural quality and your foes something to fear. That's just the description alone, pretty awesome. Ooh, and true strike, but I don't, yeah, I guess you would do this. You'd want to do this. But if you're playing as the actual player character, guidance is great because it's your ability checks. But we'll just say that for right now. Okay, so we can select. You infuse arcane magic into your next slot, turning it into a potent threat to your enemies. What are we going to do? Banishing Arrow. Use abjuration magic to potentially banish your target to. Oh my goodness, really? I'm going to put that in there because that's amazing. To banish a character, if you have, like, I don't know, 3 enemies coming at you, you know, and one of them is, you know, much stronger than the others, and you can banish that one for a couple of turns while you take out the other 2. That's crazy. Beguiling Arrow. Use enchantment magic to deal an additional 2 to 12 psychic damage. Target must succeed a saving throw or become charmed. And that's actually really good too. Because not only would they take damage, but they have to make a saving throw, otherwise they'll be charmed. And the charmed is, it's a bear to deal with when it happens to you. Bursting Arrow. Use evocation magic to make your arrow explode on impact and deal an additional 2 to 12 force damage to targets within 3 meters. So it's not just the immediate impact, it's an area effect. All these are great so far. Every one of these. Enfeebling Arrow. Use necromantic magic to deal an additional 2 to 12 necrotic damage. Target must succeed a saving throw or become feeble. Again, you know, it's not just the damage it does, it's the after effect. Grasping Arrow. Deal an additional 2 to 12 poison damage. Affected entity's movement speed is reduced by 3 meters, and it will take 2 to 12 slashing damage when it moves. So, for instance, like if you were to put this on the hag, that's big. Because she doesn't, you know, she blinks around everywhere, but she does move from time to time, and that would definitely slow her, and she would take damage at the same time. Yeah, it's just, that would be really good. I'm thinking the second time you face her, it would be more, probably work better. A seeking arrow. Use divination magic to make your arrow seek a target. The arrow deals an additional 6 to 12 force damage and possibly applies fairy fire. I've already talked about fairy fire. It's definitely underappreciated. This arrow always hits a target. Oh, look at that. It always hits it. And the possibility of getting fairy fire with that is good. Really good. Shadow arrow. Use illusion magic to deal an additional 2 to 12 psychic damage. Target must succeed a saving throw or become blinded. Huh. I mean, that's good. I mean, it depends on the enemy that you're facing, though. It may not have any effect. Piercing arrow. Use transmutation magic to attack those within the line of your shot. Oh. Each target must succeed a saving throw or be dealt an additional 1 to 6 piercing. So, yeah. It's like a little drawing. If you have, I guess, 2, 3, 4 people all in the same line, like I'm thinking the tower in chapter 2, when all the enemies are grouped up, bottlenecked near the front door, or also when you go upstairs when you're facing Ketheric. There's some of them that they tend to group up a little bit, and this would work great for that. Kind of specific though, so I don't know how useful that would be. I like this one because it's an AoE and initial damage. But I really like this one, Charmed. So the first two are great. I like how it's always going to hit and applies very far. So I'm going to say that one. We'll try that. Give that a shot. Okay. What can we shoot? Probably this box here, huh? Let's do a beguiling arrow. See if it looks any different. Oh, cannot be an inanimate entity. Oh, okay, so I need withers. Okay, let's see. Vanishing. Yeah, let's hit withers. We banished withers. Finally. He's gone. Oh, he's back. I've been wanting to do that for a very long time. Let's do the seeking arrow. You do this little jump when you do it. Ah, yes, well struck. Beguiling arrow, charmed. The accuracy would be lauded had it a purpose. It's interesting he says something based on what we're doing. I want to see if I can't charm him though. Hast thou considered this a waste of mortal energy? So in order to do arcane arrow, we need a short rest. So in this build, we only have 4. Our person's short again. They're not in our profile no more. It says double click to center the camera.
What to do?
Oh. I thought it was double click to center the camera on in the portrait. Yeah, Larry messed up something here. What they did.
I'll ever believe this.
It's a little annoying, to be honest. Okay, so let's load this again, and then I'm gonna do it from the fighter because I don't think I have enough money to do the rest of them, so we're just gonna start from the beginning. But yeah, so I haven't run across a character yet that I think I gotta replay Baldur's Gate 3 because of this subclass build.
Should mind my step.
Now that's not to say I'm not going to, but I haven't found one that's made me say I gotta do this now. I gotta start playing tonight. This is gonna be our new character. This is what we're gonna do. That definitely hasn't happened so far. Go back to nighttime. Okay. So now we are at the Drunken Master Monk. Let's do him.
Fate spins along as it should.
Dost thou require a new ally? As thou desire.
All right, let's do the monk. The funky monk. All right. Level up. Okay. Additional key point and unarmored movement. There it is. All right. So the way of the four elements, and like I said, I don't think I read this wrong. It said a new subclass has been opened to you, and it said the way of the four elements, but this is the new one. Way of the Drunken Master. With the unpredictable lurches of a tippler. What's a tippler? I don't think I've heard that. With the unpredictable lurches of a tippler, you hiccup your way through battle, frustrating foes with careful executed movements concealed beneath a facade of incompetence. Huh? The cheeky tipple. You are immune to the negative effects of being drunk. I guess tippler is a, what, drunkard? I think tippler is an archaic word for lush or drunk. Yeah, that's kind of what they're saying. So yeah. Huh. I've heard of tipsy. Maybe that's where it comes from. All right, frustrating foes with, let's see. You are immune to negative effects of being drunk. Once per day, when you drink alcohol, you regain half your key points. That's fascinating because there's so many bottles of wine that you pick up throughout the adventure, and you do use them as camp supplies, but pretty much nothing else, you know? Drunken performance. You gain proficiency in performance. Huh. I'm highly curious though. So when you have a scene, like for instance, like when you're in Baldur's Gate outside, like what's the name of the town? The little shelter town outside of Baldur's Gate when you first approach. There's like a person or two that you can do performance checks on. I wonder if something will be unique to this character where you're drunk and you perform a certain way and it changes their actions towards you, like the mercenary group that is helping the owner of the house who doesn't want to give shelter to the homeless. Would you do something in that scene as a drunken master? That's Kind of neat. Drunken technique. Punch twice in quick succession and grant yourself an additional 3 movement speed. All right, let's do that. I should have some wine somewhere. Intoxicating strike and intoxicating what? They're the same thing? Oh, hit a creature with your bare fist and possibly get them drunk. I mean, this is leading itself to a very interesting scenes. You know, because the kobolds in Act 1 get very drunk and they look drunk and they act that way. I'm just really curious now. I've never had any major compulsion to play as a monk, but this is definitely getting my attention. Let's do that. I'm going to find some wine. See if we can't. Camp supplies. I know I have more camp supplies than this. Hold up. Okay, here we go. That's what I was about to say. Okay, so we're going to say... hold up. Hold up. Let's do the red. Wine. Wine. What is this? Tonic? Yeah, Stag Swift tonic. And the black staff. Let's put those there. Okay. And then... send these to camp. They should have already been in camp. Oh well. All right, so we're gonna drink. You know what? We should have like less hit points. How do we do that? Can we? All right, good. Okay, so now I have less hit points. Now I'm going to drink some wine. Am I supposed to be like super drunk? Hold up. Okay, you're immune to the negative effects of being drunk. Once per day when you drink alcohol, you regain half your ki. Oh, okay. I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking hit points for some reason. All right, well, I completely misread that. All right, well, you know. Oh, look at this.
What do I have to lose?
You're kind of stumbling around. Okay. Reading is fundamental, DJ. Well, for whatever reason, I thought it's so crazy they did the animation to go along with that. Look at this. Yeah, no, for some reason I was thinking hit points, like you would restore your hit points. Wow. This is really neat.
I'm ready, whatever it takes.
Have a lot on my mind.
Okay.
And well, in it.
So the drunken effect should wear off in a second. And then we're going to go talk to Withers.
Fate
That was neat.
spins along.
Not sure
as
if there's
it
more.
should.
I think there's some places and equipment that are tied to being
Dost
drunk as
thou
well.
require
Definitely an
a
amulet.
new
Oh, okay.
ally?
Okay.
Or mayhaps a resurrection instead.
No.
As thou desire.
Okay. Well, we're going to do Paladin. I'm not super excited about this one, but Oath of the Crown. I mean, I guess we could. I mean, you know, you're not going to do anything that's going to be. I mean, I guess we could do it. So, if we do this. Yeah, lots of glowy. That's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't really thinking anything was going to happen with that. And who knows, maybe it'll... I think it's a great action. But, you know, paladins are pretty powerful in their own right. So, not giving them a ton kind of makes sense. But, I don't know. You'd have thought maybe there would be something extra they'd give them.
Fate spins along as it should.
But if I have Minthara, I mean, I don't really need another paladin.
Ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead.
Let's see.
As thou desire.
Okay, so we need to do the Ranger. Oh, okay, here's the one I've been looking forward to. Not because it's calling to me or anything, it's just that I love Rangers in this game. So, seeing an opportunity to see something new with them, a little exciting. Let's see. Yep. Situating myself in this chair. Okay, spells. We'll do that one. Oh, we naturally talk to animals. I guess not. Go with archery. And then we're going to say... Alright, Banana says, that one seems a little silly to me, though. Seems like there are plenty of weapons in game for you to give your characters one they're already proficient with. Yeah, you're not wrong. Ensnaring Strike is great, but I can never... It doesn't work as well as I would like for it to. So I end up defaulting to Hunter's Mark or Longstrider. Or really even Enhanced Leap. I mean, it works great because it's 10 turns. I really wish it was one of those that you could just do and it was good until like a short rest or something. But it's only 10 turns, and this one like until long rest. So this one's definitely better. But, you know, this is good. So if I'm going to do something, probably be this if I was playing this. Okay, subclass. Here we go. Gloomstalker. Yeah, I love this one. Love that one. But the new one is Swarmkeeper Ranger. Oh, Bees. This is the one I kind of read a little bit. I told Bees with the Knees. She's a streamer. She's a partner on Twitch. I was telling her about this one. That you could send the bees. You have forged a deep connection with your natural surroundings and formed a magical bond with a swarm of nature spirits. This swarm serves as a helpful companion and a potent force in battle. Gathered Swarm. It's passive. That's just passive. I don't know what it is, but it's we'll figure it out in a minute. But subclass features, praise set. Your swarm deals additional damage to creatures marked by your Hunter's Mark. This is why we should have done Hunter's Mark. So we need to have it in order to use it. So, you know, I should have Legion of Bees. That's why I mentioned it to Bees when I started, because I said, oh, you're Bees and I'm Legion. Legion of Bees. You gain a swarm of bees that fight on your side. Once per round, the swarm can assist you in one of 3 ways after you attack an enemy. It can attack and deal additional piercing damage, push the enemy away from you, or teleport you to a safer location. Oh man, this is so good. It's so good. I mean, by itself, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, so it deals piercing damage, push them, or teleport you. But it's like, those are normally spells that are very unique to that spell. You don't get it all in one as an option. Cloud of Jellyfish. You gain a swarm of jellyfish that fights on your side. Once per round, the swarm can assist you in one of 3 ways after you attack an enemy. It can attack and deal lightning damage, shock your enemy, or teleport you to a safer location. Oh man. Flurry of Moths. Let's see here. Banana says, I actually have had it like a poison focused druid ranger build, and this fits it very well. Yeah. The druid and ranger just kind of go hand in hand. So that makes sense. Once per round, your swarm can assist you in one of 3 ways after you attack an enemy. It can attack and deal additional psychic damage, blind your enemy, or teleport you to a safer. Ooh. I like the bees better, but the jellyfish really is great because of the lightning damage. But you got to be real careful with that, I would think, because if you're like in any kind of like the swamp or water area, or you know, like the cellars that have wine, and through no fault of your own, there could be like a barrel that gets busted, like from enemies AoE or something. The jellyfish will electrify it, and you'll get electrocuted with it. So I would say you have to be real cautious with that one. Moths is great because you can, like it says, either do psychic damage, which there's not a ton of enemies that have psychic resistances. So it works really well most of the time. Not all the time, of course, but most of the time. Flurry of Moths, blind the enemy too. Oh man, you know, this would be great, especially in the Ketheric Tower in chapter 2. You'd send in moths there. I can see this dealing so much damage and being so useful in that area. Both the archers that are up high in the rafters, you know, or let's see here, the psychic damage, or just teleport you somewhere. I mean, it's just, the moths would be really great there. I'm going to say Legion of Bees. Let's go back to it real quick. Piercing damage, push the enemy away from you, or teleport you to a safer location. So again, if they push, if you're like in the rafters with the archers, they can push the archers off. That'd be great. Yeah. So let's replace. No. But like I said, you probably want the hunter's mark, so that way you get that in addition to your passive. They didn't tell you that when, you know, you're selecting them, but something to keep in mind. Do that. It's fine. Okay, let's take a look at it. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. I love that. Now I want to do the jellyfish. I want to see what the jellyfish look like. This is so cool. Or is this what it looks like all the time anyway? You just are able to summon bees. You know? Okay, so okay. So I think this is one of those where when you're in combat, it'll ask you as a bonus action what to do. Instead of it being like you tell your bees to go attack this or that. I gotcha. Okay. That's what that is. But I have to know.
Fate spin.
Dost thou require a
Yeah, we're going to do the same thing. But we're going to choose like jellyfish. I gotta see. Spells. So we want, we need, I'm going to do that anyway, but you got to do Hunter's Mark. You got to do that. We'll do archery. Now this time we'll choose jellyfish. Okay. Spell. Do this. I thought we already had that one. Swarm Keeper. I'm gonna do jellyfish. Let's check it out. See what it looks like. Gained an ability passive. Change swarm? What does that mean? Oops. Oh, I could change it if I want to. Oh, I could. Okay. That's with the level up. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Oh, you know, if you have that electric build, you know, that you can get the electric set in Act 1, these jellyfish could be a really interesting specialized build. It's neat. Good job, Larian. I really like this. Very cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ranger in Baldur's Gate 3. It's nice to see that they gave it some attention.
Fate spin.
Dost thou require a new as thou
Okay. Let's do Rogue. So, Rogue is going to be the swashbuckler rogue. So kind of a throwback to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Oh, and then the jellyfish slowly fade away. Very neat. Yeah, this is what I like about the rogue. Very first couple of points or so, it is what it is. You're going to be a rogue and you're going to play as a rogue. And then it starts to get interesting as you get to level 3. So all these little things. I've never been a big fan of the arcane trickster, although it serves a purpose. It's just like, if I'm going to be a rogue, I want to be a rogue. But oftentimes, if I do have a Starian, I do like him as the arcane trickster. Assassin to me is a little underperforming. I've never really loved the assassin. It doesn't do as good as I think it could have been done. Thief, great. I love the thief. It's just, it works the way it's supposed to. So I have no complaints about the thief. Swashbuckler is what's new. Now that you're a rogue, you can pickpocket all your money back. That's true. A lot of people have, you know, they go behind withers and they get all their money. You live and breathe the art of the blade, excelling in single combat thanks to your quick feet and wits. So, fancy footwork. If you make a melee attack against a target, that target can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. Okay. So, like, let's say you're trying to disengage, not disengage, but let's say you're stuck and you make, I've done this multiple times where I move away by accident and they take a swipe at me. I guess that means that you can't do that. I mean, that's the way I'm interpreting it. Rakish Audacity. You gain a +2 bonus to initiative rolls. This scales with your rogue level. Well, that's good. Okay. You no longer need advantage to trigger sneak attack as long as you're within 1.5 meters of the target and don't have a disadvantage. That's interesting because I never associated swashbuckler with a sneak attack. But there it is. Banana says Assassin's real value is in getting a free backstab and getting your turn once combat starts, but after that it feels like compared to Thief to me. Yeah. Okay, so here you go. Dirty trick. Flick of the wrist. Flick your weapon at a target and possibly disarm them. So this is interesting. So when I was looking at the subclasses, I was only looking at what they do. I didn't think about like other features that could come along with it as you level up, but I guess there is that. Dirty trick, vicious mockery. Insult a creature and it has a disadvantage on the next attack roll. Okay, it's a cantrip. It's not bad. Actions: sand toss. Toss a handful of sand at your enemy and possibly blind them. That's pretty neat. Defeat. Go here. Let's try to blind withers. Yes, well struck. Not really much going on there. The accuracy would be lauded had it a purpose. I do like the animation though.
That's a friendly looking shadow. I can take what I please.
Apparently we failed. I think that's the first time I've ever failed that.
What to take?
Okay, I finally got it. Okay. Withers does not care. You know, me and Banana have talked about Withers from a lore aspect. I think there's a lot more to Withers than he appears. Just simply him being here, I think, if I'm right, is a betrayal. You know, he's moving things as he sees fit for his purposes. And it's not really Withers himself, but perhaps somebody he's subject to. So if I'm right, we really don't want Withers around. But who knows? Who knows? Let's do the sorcerer.
Fate spins along as it should.
Dost thou require a new ally? As thou...
Okay. Sorcerer. There we go. And it's supposed to be the shadow magic. There it is, right there. So I want to see if we get to level 4, if there's any, additional things that come with shadow magic. Let's see if the dark, which is good because I have a human character here. So, okay. All right. So let's level this one up. I probably need to take off my armor. Spells. Meta magic. Now this one always confused me. Sorcerer. Spells. Meta magic. What is subtle? Oh, you can cast spells while silenced, and then quickened. Almost as spells that cost an action cost a bonus action instead. Okay. Heightened spells. Targets a spell that requires saving throws have disadvantage on their first saving throw. Extend, double the duration of conditions, summons, and surfaces caused by the spell. Careful spell. Okay. Allies automatically succeed saving throws against spells that require them. I like this, but it does require like third level thinking where you're like, okay, so if I'm facing this enemy and they tend to do this, I want to go ahead and put this on my allies, so that way if they cast that, that they'll have an additional set. It really is a lot to juggle. But I think I'll do this one because I found that you get silenced a lot more than I probably would prefer to. So I'll just do that one. Let's see. I don't see anything that's been new. Cantrip. Bursting sinew. Explode a corpse, causing it to impale those around it. I could be wrong. I don't remember this. I don't remember that. Visibility. Enlarge or reduce. Oh, Missy Step. That's what I want. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, Sorks are a really interesting one. They take a little bit more thought. Sometimes I've heard it said that druids and I think clerics, sometimes people need like guides for those because they're difficult builds. To me, Sork is by far the hardest thing to kind of fully understand. There's really a lot going on, and you don't have as many spells, so you would think that it'd be easier, but it is a little bit tricky. That's new. It's not bad for the tutorial section either, since it's already corpses laying around. The tutorial section. Oh, you mean, oh yeah, the Act 1. Yeah. In the ship. Yeah, in the Nautiloid. Yeah. It's a good survivor build. Okay. To gain sorcery points. Okay. Yeah, see, I have to take off my gear. I think we're good. Now I can...
Should get started.
I lit up the torch. I dimmed the torch. Well, Withers is dead. Yeah. This target must be dead. Withers is dead. Come on, game. Can't believe this. All right. Well, I would like to see it. So that is new. Like I said, I haven't read any patch notes other than what the new classes are. I'm coming at it blind. Withers is undead, I think. We don't know what Withers truly is. But yeah, let's...
Fate spins along.
Dost thou require a new as thou...
All right. Let's go to Warlock. And here we can become a Hexblade. Okay. Wait. Did I miss something? Did I accidentally not select? I did. That was my fault. Oh crap. I gotta do this over.
Fate.
Dost thou require a new as...
I needed to select Hexblade from the beginning. Okay, so now we're on track. Okay, let's level it up and see if there's anything new in the path of the Hexblade. Start with Hex. Of Hadar. Using Blast and Repelling Blast. By default, we'll do that. Let's see. Pact boon. Let's see spells. Let's do this. Ooh, actually, let's do that. Pact boon. Yeah, tome or chain. And here's the thing. You almost never want to do Pact of the Blade as a warlock. I mean, you can. I mean, really, that's kind of what Will is. But since we're doing this Hexblade, I kind of wonder if it wouldn't actually be better to do Pact of the Blade in this build. You can summon a pact weapon or bind one that you're wielding, making it magical. Hexblade warlocks who already have do not gain this bind. Okay, so there you go. They've already said you probably don't need to. So now we can go with chain or tome. I sometimes do tome because you get more spells, but chain you get a familiar, and who doesn't love having a familiar? So do that. Oh, you just read that, but I think Hexblade comes with the bind ability, right? Yeah, but, well, that's why. That's why I always try to read. I don't always like. It doesn't always sink in, but you know. Toll of the Dead. I think this is new as well. Toll of the Dead. Ring the bell of impending doom. If the target is at full health, you deal 1 to 8 necrotic damage instead. So if they're already... See, this is 1 to 12 damage. So if they're at, say, 50%, it does 1 to 12. But if they're at full health, it only does 1 to 8 necrotic damage. I see. So you don't want to do this as like your starting spell against somebody. Gotcha. Booming Blade. Is this different from the Thunder Blade? Strike your weapon, afflicting the foe with resonance that hurts them for 1 to 8 thunder damage when they move. I think I like this one if we're doing a Hexblade build. But this is different from the other one. It looks like it does more damage, because the other one only did like whatever you had for your blade, which of course when you hit something, it, you know, it doesn't do that much. But it's a cantrip, so maybe this is the way to go. That is new. I think it comes with the Death Domain Clerics as well. Okay, does that apply Reverberation as well? Yeah, that's what it says. It says, afflicting your foe with a resonance that hurts them for 1 to 8 thunder damage when they move. So when they move, they have that, but you have an automatic 3 to 8 damage. So if we go to our description, it says Booming Blade. Yeah. So I think this is the way to go for that. And then we'll do this. This is good for warlocks too. This Hellish Rebuke. Yeah. Feet. I'm gonna go heal. Let's take a look at it. All right. Hexblade Curse. I still consider that this a waste of mortal energy. I guess I should have done the dummy. Must have a short rest for us to do this. Now let's do Wrathful Smite.
Death won't take me yet.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I have my normal weapon in my hand, and then there's like a phantom blade in the other. It's interesting. Okay. Okay. Interesting. The banana says, okay, there's a set of items that are oriented toward thunder damage and apply stacks of reverberation, which basically detonates to deal extra damage. I think I might look into that for a Hexblade. Yeah, the Hexblade, like I said, there's on the surface, it's like, I don't really want to do a Warlock that does melee, but I think there's a lot here that, especially because they have the Eldritch Blast. So you always have this in your pocket. Always. You know? So, yeah, I mean, I just don't see how. And you're able to wear medium armor, which I don't have on me, but it really seems to be a jack of all trades for the battlefield. But with the added bonus of having a, you know, super powered Eldritch Blast at any time. But you can definitely keep people away from you. You know, you do this, and or if they get too close, then you can do, you know, this. Now, whether or not you actually hit them is another thing, but your stat boost is based on charisma in this build. So I just don't see a major flaw in it outside of, you know, your attribute being, you know, low hit points.
To live in more interesting times.
Yeah, because our constitution is 14, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Our strength is low. Just means that we can't jump very far or, you know, carry very much, but So anyway, let's do
Fate
Wizard.
spins
It's the last one.
along as it should.
Dost thou require a new... As thou...
Okay, let's do Wizard and Blade Singing Wizard. Let's get rid of the hand and do this one. I want to see the animation on that. You also get it for the Bursting Sinew. Once again, showing that the Wizard is really, really great. You know, you do all three of these. You could do the Booming Blade, you could do the Toll of the Dead, and you can do the Bursting Sinew. Huh. Get rid of all those. And those are just your cantrips. That's great. That's great. Ice Blade, Chromatic Orb, and maybe Grease. I know it was up there. I just, okay, let's do this. Now we're gonna do see, chosen subclass is Abjuration, which is where we want to now, let's see, right here. And I've always said that, like, between all these, I don't know, I just always go toward evocation, which is what Gale does. I just don't see a great advantage of picking any of these. The evocation is just great on its own. But now that we have Blade Singing, a master of wizardry and swordplay, you combine the elegant maneuvers of a warrior with the devastating magics of a mage. Again, very similar to the warlock build, but I don't know specifically where you get the bonuses from. Maybe mage armor and shield. Okay, so now we get to pick our weapon. I don't know if this makes any difference. It says pick the blade-based weapon you'd like to use as your principal weapon, replacing your quarterstaff. You will be able to channel your magic through it during combat. The sickle is pretty badass. Don't see it on here, but it's okay. Short sword, rapier, scimitar, long sword, or dagger. I want to say the sickle because that's kind of that's pretty cool. Let's do Okay, now I'm going to put my notepad away because I had all the new subclasses written on the notepad, so I didn't have to keep going back to the patch notes. Let's do the sickle. Prepare spells. Get rid of that one. Put that in there. And we're going to do mage armor and this. Okay. Level 3. See what we're doing here. See what we got. What spells do we have? It's the step. What is this? Shadow Blade. Weave a shadowy sword in your hand that deals 2 to 16 damage. Would that counter affect our sickle? We'll find out. Cantrip. See, I typically go friends because, you know, of all the conversations you have, it's really useful. But I don't see anything here that would... Oh, here we go. Shocking Grasp. Because you'll be a little bit more in melee range for a lot of these things. You can do this. And if they have metal armor, it does even more damage. Well, no, it's more of an advantage, I should say. But they can't use reactions. I'm going to just say friends, just to kind of fill the spot there. Let's go with that. See if I see anything new. Yeah, Shatter. Shatter's in that whole like earthquake resonance type grouping. Also, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, if you haven't really used it before, it works really well. It actually procs a ton. Now, I stayed away from it originally because there's a lot of enemies. Well, let me choose my words carefully. The enemies where you really are at a disadvantage for tend to have high wisdom. And I was like, well, I don't want to, you know, pick Tasha's Hideous Laughter because that's the wisdom save. But in practice, I've tried it and it works really well. So, yeah, if you haven't done this one before, you know, give it a shot, see if you like it. I'm going to do Enlarge. And we're going to do Intelligence. I didn't read anything that gave us modifiers for being with our intelligence, unlike the Warlock did. The Warlock gives us modifiers based on our charisma rather than like strength or dexterity. So it's naturally going to it's going to be a more natural build. Let's see what the Toll for the Dead does. Let's practice on Withers. Okay, Withers. It's interesting. Shadow Blade. Let's see what happens here. Ah, so your sickle becomes your primary weapon. Yeah. And then you have this as like your second weapon. Interesting. Blade Song. Let's see if it looks any different. Oh, look at that. Okay. So Blade Song, evoke the Blade Song, you gain a +2 bonus to armor class and your movement speed increases by 3 meters. You also gain advantage in acrobatics and a +2 to Constitution saving throws. You also unblock Blade Song Climax and the ability to accumulate Blade Song charges in combat. Huh. You can't wear medium or heavy armor or shields while blade singing. You must be wielding a dagger, longsword, rapier, scimitar, sword, or sickle. Okay. Okay. So... interesting. Okay. Okay. Ah, yes, well struck. No, he kind of looked almost like frozen there for a second. Okay. All right, interesting. I don't think it's as superior as the Warlock one though. So, imagine it pairs well with the hex spell. Yeah, the Warlock one. Yeah. I don't think it's a great. I don't know. My impression is that for each one of these subclasses, they kind of supplemented what the class normally lacked. So, yeah, like the cleric, for instance, the death domain, which was sorely lacking. It really needed that. The druid one, I think it's not a huge upgrade, but I like the fact that I'm not in a bear form or something, and I can still do other spells and my normal spells on top of it. So I do like that. The Drunken Master Monk is just really good. I think if you're gonna play Monk, that seems to be the way to go. Paladin, I mean, it seemed like just like if you think of a paladin, like that's who it would be, the Oath of Crown paladin, like that's your paladin. So I think maybe they just lacked a superior version of the paladin, perhaps. The Swarmkeeper Ranger, I'm telling you, I really like that one. I'm not in love with it, but I really, really do like it. No, fuck the crown. Banana. Shadow Magic Sorcerer really got my attention. Hexblade Warlock. So far, that's sticking out as possibly the best of this group. And it's so weird to say that because I've always thought Warlock could be a good melee, like a third melee person. But it's like, how do you make that work? Like, clearly Will wants that to be something, right? But in order to do that, you have to, like, you know, kind of change the build a little bit for him. But that one, you know, you could just make him a Hexblade Warlock and probably take him everywhere. Now he's highly functional in any battle. Blade Singing Wizard, not a fan. Don't like it. I still think Wizard is better off doing just casting from afar. It's neat. I wouldn't say don't never do that. I mean, I don't know. You play however you want. I don't know if that's something I would ever gravitate to. I don't know if I'll ever make a build like that. But yeah, College of the Glamour Bard. It's like you made the bard even more of a bard in a way. But I don't hate it. I definitely think the bards are already a little overpowered. I get the hiccups. Are a little overpowered. So adding any features to them really seems to be a good thing. Yeah, Path of the Giant Barbarian just doesn't. There wasn't enough there. I mean, you're a little bit. I guess the enlarging would be good because that comes with other attributes. But I wouldn't say that that's like, you know, the definitive build probably for Barbarian. But I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. So I guess I don't know. I want to say my favorite is the Druid, but I might be biased when I say that. The Swarmkeeper Ranger is not bad at all. I just think from a utilitarian standpoint that the Circle of Stars Druid I can see that being infinitely useful the entire time. Like you're never at a disadvantage because you're not stuck in a were form. Like you're not like a bear unable to cast spells because of your form. You know, so depending on what you choose, you know, the dragon, the chalice for healing, or what was the other one? Oh man, I forgot already. But anyway, depending on what you choose for that form, it could really be useful on a battlefield. Yeah, so I guess for me, if I were to like fire up a new game right now, which one would I pick? Probably the Swarm Keeper Ranger. Probably. And then I might think the Druid, and then I'm really curious about the Warlock. But the Monk, the Drunken Master Monk, you could almost solo things in that, with that, the way that they present that. It's not that you're walking around drunk all the time, but you make yourself unable to be hit based on the factors that they were included with the subclass. So you're hard to hit, you have extra ki, and you hit hard, and then you make people drunk on the battlefield. So you inhibit their ability to, like, let's say you're facing like, I'm thinking like in Shar's Temple, when you're facing off against some of those, well, they're not, I guess they are assassins. You know, if you hit a couple of them and you're able to make them, they lose their dexterity because you made them drunk. Well, you kind of evened up the battlefield. So yeah, it's really interesting. That monk one, really, I think people were going to have a lot of fun with that. And I think I remember reading now that especially if you throw things. Oh, was that the barbarian? That might be the barbarian. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a specific build you can make with some items that you can find that, especially with the javelin that returns to you. If you can really early on create a build that focuses on throwing things, like, because you can find stuff everywhere, like chairs and barrels and whatever, but you can enhance the damage of anything thrown, provided that you have enough strength to do it. The Path of the Giant Barbarian would be a great build for that. I think it's like a set of gloves or something that you have that does extra damage too, for throwing things. So it's all these multiple items that you have that add on to the current damage. I don't know if that actually in practice works, but it sounds like that could be huge. Like, if you have it built just right, and let's say you enlarge yourself and you have already a lot of strength to begin with, and you have all the items that help you add multiple factors of damage to thrown objects, and let's say you pick up a barrel or an axe, and you throw it as a giant barbarian, you might be able to like get the owlbear, for instance, in a couple of shots, you know, with the right build, maybe even one shot. Banana says, I looked up the amulet and it heals you for 2d4 hit points each round while drunk, and extends the drunk status for 5 rounds. Well, there you go. Yeah, in the back of my mind, it was like the Drunken Master really has the ability to potentially let you solo the whole game. There's also a clothing piece that gives you the advantage on constitutional saves while drunk, and gives temporary hit points each turn. Okay. And a great club that gets advantage on attacks and deals bonus thunder damage while drunk. Well, you wouldn't be wielding any weapons as a monk, but yeah, so that build could be incredible. Yeah. So I don't know. So the club doesn't make sense to me, but I get it, you know. I get it. Yeah, so this was a lot of fun, and like I said, I haven't really come back to Baldur's Gate in a very long time. Baldur's Gate 3, I did not want to get burned out doing it. I play a lot of games. I've been having fun with Kazan. I've been playing the Berserker Kazan. I've streamed it a little bit recently. Check out those videos if you can. And I do plan on making more Baldur's Gate content. I'm still working on the Jaheira lore video. I have parts 2 and parts 3. I'm trying to get more closely released to each other rather than having a big pause between each one like I have so far in the series. The first one is out there, and it got a lot of reception at first, and then it kind of like slowly gained a little bit more viewers for that. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like start a whole new playthrough tonight. Obviously, I'm just trying to decide, like, if I were to create a new one, let me know in the comments. Let me know in any of the videos I have if there's any one of these builds that you'd like to see. Like I said, I'm kind of partial to the Swarmkeeper Ranger. It's really calling me, but I already have several videos as a Ranger. I don't really have a ton as a Druid. And I haven't done the Death Domain Cleric. I haven't really played as a Cleric because I always think like, well, I need to bring Shadowheart with me. But I'm thinking now, if I do a Death Domain Cleric, maybe that's what I could do. And then Shadowheart can just continue to be like, say, her redeemed Shadowheart Cleric type person. A Selûnite, a converted Selûnite or something. So that could work. But anyway, I would check you guys later. I didn't stream for very long. I know it's only 2 hours. I haven't gone away from the Baldur's Gate content at all. I like the entire story, the Forgotten Realm stuff, not just Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale. Although in Icewind Dale, I will say there's not much of a story there. You kind of create the story yourself. And the gameplay itself is kind of rough. If you've never played Icewind Dale, it's kind of rough. Neverwinter Nights, I played a ton of Neverwinter Nights. The DLCs are definitely where you want to spend all your time. The main game is okay, but the campaign, but the game was never designed to be like BioWare's, like, this is our Dungeons and Dragons game. Like Baldur's Gate was always that. And in fact, the spiritual successor for Baldur's Gate wasn't necessarily the like you would think like some of their other entries, but it was actually Dragon Age. Dragon Age was their spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate, even though it's fundamentally different. But yeah, and I hear Oblivion is going to be coming out pretty soon, the remaster. Everybody told me I was crazy. Since December, I was saying, I think there's going to be an Oblivion remaster that comes out before May. And lo and behold, all the news that came out today from the leak stuff that came out, I'm like, it's not like it wasn't on their earnings call list of games that they're developing. It's been there. We just didn't know when they would actually release it. I mean, they could have always abandoned it at any time, of course, but it's not like it wasn't known that it wasn't on their development list. We've known about it. It's just a matter of, when would they release it? So that's something that maybe would be interesting to dive it back into. I'm more of a Morrowind person, but I did play Oblivion. I wasn't too happy with it. When Skyrim came around, I was like, oh, finally, because Skyrim was like the Oblivion I expected. But yeah, Oblivion, it was a lot of people's entry into the Elder Scrolls, so I understand the love and the nostalgia, and that's definitely something we could look into as well. Friend of the channel, Dark Lord Dash, has been making a lot of content regarding Elder Scrolls, especially Oblivion stuff. And he does a lot of Diablo stuff, but he's not doing Diablo anymore. But yeah, he is very excited about the Oblivion stuff. So maybe I can start releasing some content related to Oblivion. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know. And I will check you guys later. Had a good time going over this. And I'm looking forward to coming back to Baldur's Gate 3 and doing some more stuff. Me and Banana have recorded a few episodes of us doing a co-op. I haven't released any of those. If I do, it'll be on the Gamers Advocate channel. Please check that channel out. We have a podcast episode every Friday. And we release videos about just games in general, just our impressions of games. They're not always reviews per se. Like I never give a ranking myself. I don't say 7 out of 10 or whatever. That's not what I do. I'll give you impressions, whether I liked it, didn't like it, things I did like, things I didn't like, and that's about it. You can make the decision on your own. But yeah, I appreciate everybody here, and I will check you guys later. Have fun and always experiment. Thank you very much.